Hi, what I've been asked to talk to you about today is risk. And in particular, what we're going to try and decipher is absolute and relative risk. The most important way of communicating risk is to talk about absolute risk, or the chance of something that will happen to you. So for example, we could talk about crossing a busy road and what is the chance that you get hit by a car. We could also talk about breast cancer and what is your lifetime risk of developing breast cancer. So if we say that the chance of something happening is 10% in absolute terms, then what that means is that 1 out of 10 women, or 10 out of 100, which is the same thing, the same proportion, will have that happen during their lifetime. If we then want to talk about something that might change that risk, so for example, if it comes to breast cancer, it might be taking the contraceptive pill or HRT or gaining weight, or even something that might reduce the risk, then we have to be very clear what we mean by that. Because usually, particularly in the papers, when you see something changing a risk, it's relative risk. So for example, if it increases the chance of something happening by 50%, if that's a relative risk, that doesn't mean it goes from the 10% to 60. You don't add those risks together, and that makes it close to a certainty that that's going to happen, or at least it's over 50-50. That 50% increase means it's half as likely again. And so what we do is we take the 10%, what's half of 10% is 5, we add the two together, and that makes it then a 15% lifetime risk. And so you can see that that's very different. That 15 is very different to the big 60% increase. It gets particularly confusing when people talk about 100% increase in risk, because you think, well, if I've already got 10% and now I've got 100% because of this, that's more than 100%, and you can't have that, and you'd be quite right. So that must be a relative risk. And 100% increase in risk from an absolute risk of 10%, well, 100% is the 10, isn't it? It's the 10 plus the 10 again, so that's then a 20% chance of something happening in the lifetime. So that's how we try and communicate risk, and it's really important that if you're having a discussion with somebody in the family history clinic or a GP, and you don't understand those figures that are being talked about, that you ask. Get clarification and say, is that the relative risk or the absolute risk? Because I really just need to know what the implication is to my absolute risk, so I can make a decision about whether I want to take the contraceptive pill or HRT. And it's your right to know those risks and have a detailed discussion about them so that you can make informed decisions. Thank you.